This is Green Simmons. You're watching Absolute Underground Television, and we're interviewing the rock warrior Thor.
I am Thor, and I am the real god of thunder. You got that, Green Simmons?
You are not, and we will find out later.
I think you are like Mr. Migzabolt. That's what I think.
My neighbor.
And my evil. You're just like my evil half-brother, Loki.
Loki is bad, but I am badder, and tonight we will find out who the true God of Thunder is.
Odin! Smite him down, or I shall take mine hammer and squash his head to a pancake.
Bring it on, Thor!
Thunder on the Tundra, right here in Victoria. I'm telling you, when we get down to a battle tonight, there will be lightning, there will be thunder, there will be the screaming of Green Simmons calling for his mama.
And only one will walk away the victor. Who that is, we do not know. Tonight, history will be written in stone.
But you are wrong, my friend, for I do know. Mine hammer tells me so.
I left the Rock of Gibraltar in the Mediterranean Sea. If only you would bow to green. Bow!
I bow to no one, especially you.
We good?
This is his head on drugs.
Who are you, and what are you most famous for?
All right, the name is Thor, a.k.a. John Mikl Thor. And you may say I've been in the rock business as a performer, an observer, for 5 decades of rock.
Explain the birth of Thor. What year did you officially get going?
Well, that goes back to the 60s. In the late 60s, I started to get into bands like Iron Falcon, and because I was inspired by Iron Butterfly, and then Zeppelin came along, and all those kind of bands, and so my music got heavier. And then I became more theatrical, right? Because in the early 70s, there was the glitter rock scene, David Bowie, and when he was Ziggy Stardust and Spiders from Mars, Alice Cooper, and I thought if those guys could do their shtick, well, I'm going to do mine, and I became the rock and roll gladiator, you know, and it developed from there to being the rock Viking and putting out albums and doing a large theatrical show on stage. The bigger the show back then, the more people liked it, right? And I still feel that concept of putting on the best show you can for the audience, because you can buy the CD, you can download the music, but then you want to see the live show, and we'll give it to them. I would say that I'm one of the predecessors of modern rock theater, and an inspiration possibly to a lot of young bands. Recently I just played the Sweden Rock Festival in Salzburg, Sweden, and the Sauna Open Air Festival in Finland, and there were a lot of metal bands that were very much similar, and they told me they were inspired by my albums, like Only the Strong, and that's how they got their concept. And it reminded me of the early 80s metal scene. I always felt I was a total original. I was the guy who started gladiator rock, if you want to call it, barbarian rock, superhero rock. No one did it back then. When Keep the Dogs Away came out, it was before Much Music, before MTV, and we filmed probably the first concept video ever in Canada, you know, for any Canadian band. It was a very first shot, and it was shot on 35 millimeter. The whole Keep the Dogs Away thing was Sleeping Giant and Wasted.
Who is the creature? Are you the creature? Are you the creature? Hold it. He is not the creature. I see him! I see the creature!
I started bodybuilding at 7 years old, so I started very young, and I won a lot of awards at a very young age. I had a very baby face then, and had a very big body, and I started entering competition when I was 13 years old. I won titles like Mr. Junior Canada, then Mr. Canada, not just Mr. Junior Canada, because I would compete against, I was a teenager, but I'd beat guys in their 20s who were already in development stage, right? I still was a young kid growing. And I also competed against Louis Ferrigno twice, almost beat him in Mr. Universe, and almost beat him in Mr. Teenage America New York. And I was also on stage with Mike Katz, Ken Waller, Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like 40 trophies I won, and I retired at 19 to go full-time into the music business.
One thing you used to do was blow up hot water bottles, but that's pretty dangerous, isn't it?
It's very, very dangerous, and I've destroyed many brain cells doing that, and I didn't want to destroy any more while I can remember things so I can write my book. But yes, I used to blow up and explode lifetime guarantee hot water bottles, and sometimes they would get so big and so large that they would just go over the audience like a Zeppelin. They were massive, and then there was no more rubber left, and I would hold on to the bits of rubber with my fingernails, and then finally would explode. Or sometimes I even had to let it go and it went over the audience, you know, I go, you know. But I always tried to explode them. I probably have blown up about 3,286 hot water bottles in my lifetime.
How many movies have you been in?
The good ones or the bad ones?
The tolerable ones.
Yes, there are some intolerable films I have done. I've done about 19 movies, right? Albums, I've done 3. You know, I've done a lot of soundtracks too. Like I have, you know, a lot of title songs. Like Fubar is a super rocker for the movie Fubar, which I actually wasn't in, but I had a part in the production.
And were you honored to be named one of the top 100 frontmen of all time?
That was a big honor, especially when you have people like Jim Morrison in there and Freddie Mercury and some of the greatest in the world. And that was a real proud moment for me because it was the top critics from all over the European journals, you know, like Classic Rock and everything, who voted. And so, there you go. I want to carry the torch, and I got some more touring to do, more places to conquer, and I'll carry the maple leaf flag high and proud, because I am Thor, but I am a Canadian.
Shithead, you're watching Absolute Underground Television, and it sucks because I'm not on it. Wait, I am. Wait, it's over. You're watching. Goodbye.